What's going on, guys? How are you? My name is Jersey Jaguar, here to bring you some of the best Jaguar news content here on YouTube. You only need 3 criteria in order to be a subscriber. First off, you love the Jacksonville Jaguars with your heart, soul, and mind. Second off, you hate the Tennessee Titans with your heart, soul, and mind. And third, and most importantly, you know in your heart, soul, and mind that Shad Khan is the biggest moron on planet Earth. If you fit those 3 criteria, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's jump right into this video. So I know earlier in the last week when free agency was in the middle of everything, I come out with a video recapping what the Jaguars did in the first day. However, there's some more things I kind of wanted to talk about. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive, if you will, into everything that happened, some of the stuff that happened after that first day. And I kind of wanted to just talk about some Jaguar players who were here that are now elsewhere. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about what we've already talked about, in the sense that we all know on the first day we went out, we signed Brandon Sheriff. Christian Kirk was the big one. The Jags brought in Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Foye, whatever that last name is, the linebacker from the Atlanta Falcons, and then Foley Fatukasi, the defensive tackle from the New York Jets. Those were the big 6 guys that the Jags brought in on the first day. I do have a little bit of contract details I kind of want to discuss, especially Christian Kirk's deal. But then on Tuesday morning, early afternoon, whatever it was, the Jaguars ended up signing former Rams cornerback, and his name is, I don't want to botch it. I wanted to say Darius, but I knew it wasn't right. Darius Williams, former corner of the Los Angeles Rams. He's actually a Jacksonville guy. He comes home, and he's a pretty solid player. Now the Jags have their trio that they need at the quarterback position. Shaquille Griffin, obviously, that we signed last year's free agency. Now Williams comes over, and Tyson Campbell that we took with the 33rd overall pick. And last year's draft, who the Jaguar fans were kind of wary on him through the first half of the season, myself included. But he really picked things up and showed a lot of promise in the last half of last year. So I really believe, I know a lot of Jaguar fans do as well, that we really do have a solid trio of corners now between Tyson Campbell, Williams, and Shaquille Griffin. So I kind of want to get into a little bit of contract stuff from these Jaguar players that we signed. I wrote down the numbers here. Excuse me. Pick up my little notebook here. So Brandon Sheriff ended up signing a 3-year, $49.5 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. I'll take it. Not a bad deal. The guy's one of the best guards in the NFL. Putting him next to Brandon Linder, well, hopefully Brandon Linder, I'll get into that in a minute, I think will really solidify the interior. Honestly, I know some Jaguar fans are really high on Ben Barch. I would really like to see the Jaguars address guard in the draft, probably in the 3rd round. Excuse me. With either the 1st or 2nd pick that we have in the 3rd round, I prefer the Jaguars to address that other guard position there. And then we all know we slapped the franchise tag on Cam Robinson. And I personally think that the Jaguars are going to have Walker Little be the right tackle going into the season. I think they're going to have a battle between him and Juwan Taylor going into camp. But ultimately, I really do think that Walker Little will end up winning that battle. And the Jaguars also brought back Will Richardson in the free agency period. He was one of the former Jaguars that actually got signed back. So as kind of like they're going to have Taylor and Richardson kind of be the swing tackles, which isn't a bad situation to be in. Or who knows, maybe the Jags do have, because Juwan Taylor has already totally shut down the idea of playing guard. I feel like Walker Little wouldn't do that. So perhaps if the Jags did stick with Juwan Taylor at right guard, we could play Walker Little over at that left guard spot next to between Cam Robinson and Brandon Linder. Who knows? We'll see. We still got some time left. The draft's coming up in April. A lot of questions could be answered there, but that's just kind of my 2 cents on the situation. So honestly, not a bad contract at all for Brandon Sheriff. He's one of the best guards of football. Foye Oluokun, the linebacker we got from the Atlanta Falcons, he signed a 3-year, $45 million contract. And his deal is kind of a lot like Christian Kirk's, where it's kind of more on upside. That's kind of what you have to do in free agency, especially when you're a team like us. But honestly, the dude, I think he could be another Paul Posluszny for us. We signed him away from the Buffalo Bills all those years ago, and Paul Posluszny had a wonderful career with the Jaguars. I know he's a fan favorite to a lot of us. I think the Foye situation could be very, very similar, and if that's the case, he's worth every penny of the $45 million. And then when it comes to Foley Fatukasi, he was a 3-year, $30 million contract, which is not bad, especially since everything that I've heard, everything I've seen from him, he's excellent at stopping the run and generating that pressure up front, which the Jaguars don't do. The Jaguars do not create pressure up front. If we do create pressure ever, it's from Josh Allen and occasionally Dwan Smoot. Which is why the Jags are picking Aiden Hutchinson. I'm just telling you that now. In case you didn't already know, Jags are picking Aiden Hutchinson. Spoiler alert. Got to have that pass rusher opposite of Josh Allen. But between him now and Malcolm Brown, who we had last year, and hopefully Devon Hamilton this year will take the step that I think a lot of us were expecting him to take last year, for that solid middle rotation for the Jags to finally generate some pressure up front. So like Josh Allen and Hutchinson created from the outside, and maybe Jacksonville will be alive and well, because God knows it's been dead the last couple of years. And then the Christian Kirk contract. I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that, because it's kind of being blown out of proportion. It's kind of annoying me, because a lot of that money in that contract is incentives, and a lot of a lot of it's incentives, and he has a large signing bonus. But really, like, his cap hit for this year and next year is really not that much. Essentially, what that deal is, it's like a 2-year, $37 million contract, which may sound like a lot, but in free agency, you do what you got to do. And if Christian Kirk does make all the money on this contract, that means for the next 4 years, the Jaguars are going to get a really, really good wide receiver. And isn't that what we want? The dude's 25 years old. The dude has really been a number 3, and not by his play skill or by his level of talent. It's because, well, first off, the dude played with Josh Rosen his rookie year, so what can he really do there? Okay, and the dude's playing alongside with Larry Fitzgerald, who's going to get a large majority of the targets, and then after that, he's playing with DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Green. So this will be an opportunity for Christian Kirk to really showcase what he can do with the Jags. Now, don't get me wrong, he will not be wide receiver 1. At least I hope that's not Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson's plan, because Christian Kirk is not a number 1 receiver. But if they're able to snag Pickens at 33, or if by the football gods have mercy on us and due to injury Jameson Williams falls to 33, or the Jags move up at the end of the first to grab him if he falls because of his injury, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but Christian Kirk will hopefully be an excellent, excellent complement to the number 1 receiver that we end up drafting. We need a Jamar Chase. I know there's not that guy as it looks in this draft, but man, guys like Keenan Allen have gone in the high 2nd round. Devontae Adams was a high 2nd round pick. The Jags have to get that guy. I love George Pickens from what I've seen. My hope is that the Jags get him at 33. I would absolutely love that. And the Jags need that number 1 guy, but I think Christian Kirk will absolutely be an excellent complement to that guy and a security blanket for Trevor Lawrence, especially coming out of the slot. So yeah, that's my take on it. And then the Jags also, and I really love this signing, Jaguars signed Evan Ingram tight end from the New York Giants, to a 1-year, $9 million prove-it deal, in which he straight up said in his press conference he's hoping to get a long-term deal out of it. And I do too. I do too, because Doug Peterson is a master at utilizing the tight end in his offense. I think between Evan Ingram and Dan Arnold, and maybe a little bit of Chris Manhertz, who knows, but mostly Arnold and Evan Ingram will get a lot of utilization in Doug Peterson's offense, and hopefully Ingram will earn all that $9 million and another 3-4 year contract, where the Giants' loss is the Jaguars' gain. That's all I can say about that. It's a low risk, high reward kind of a situation with Evan Ingram, and I love it. Also, same situation for this next player is Zay Jones. We signed him from the Oakland Raiders to a 3-year, $24 million deal. But not a lot of that's really guaranteed. It's, he's, again, the Jaguars did an excellent job of replacing receivers that we had, not with elite talent, but better. This wide receiver room is better than it was last year. And I know a lot of you have given up on Laviska Shenault. I know a lot of you have. I still have hope, and especially now with Doug Peterson, that Laviska Shenault, what we saw in his rookie year, we can see this year. And Doug Peterson will come up with an actual good game plan for Laviska Shenault and a good utilization for him in our offense. And, man, between James Robinson and Travis Etienne in the backfield, how Doug Peterson's going to utilize Viska, having Christian Kirk, and hopefully that number 1 receiver that we drafted, number 33. I'm excited, along with Evan Ingram and along with Dan Arnold, if he can stay healthy. I really think this could be the best Jaguar offense that we have seen in many, many years, mostly because of Doug Peterson. Because really, if you look at what he did in Philadelphia, he never really had a superstar. I mean, we see what Carson Wentz is now. And now, I almost said Nelson Aguilar, not Nelson Aguilar. Alshon Jeffrey was kind of on the butt end of his career when the Eagles went on that run, and he won a Super Bowl with them. So I'm excited to see what Doug Peterson can do with these new offensive pieces for the Jags. And I think Zay Jones is a very solid, number 4, number 3 type of wide receiver. So good stuff there. Also, I haven't seen anything official, but I've seen stuff on Twitter that apparently, he's tweeted out stuff. Apparently, we've re-signed Laquan Treadwell, which, if that's the case, cool. He's a solid depth guy, too. And believe it or not, was probably our best receiver last year, which is really, really sad to say. But I could tell he built a relationship with Trevor. So good for him, I guess. So now I'm going to jump into the Jaguar players that we have lost. One of them in particular really hurts, and I know that you all know where I'm going with this. So after we signed Foyer from the Atlanta Falcons, a lot of us were thinking, okay, you got him in the middle, Miles Jack can go to his natural outside position, Jags are rolling, awesome. Well, the Jaguars cut Miles Jack the next day. And that hurt me. That hurt all of us. What hurts us even more is he is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, which sucks. Really, really sucks. That Jack is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, no longer a Jaguar, and that 2017 defense is officially disbanded and is officially just dead and gone, unfortunately. What's also dead and gone is the hopes that many of you had of bringing back DJ Chark, because DJ Chark is a Detroit Lion, and they brought him in kind of similar to what we did with Evan Ingram, like a 1-year prove-it deal that DJ's got going on over there. I wish him good luck. I like DJ, but the Jags could do better, and hopefully we will in the draft, and we'll see. Taven Bryan is no longer a Jacksonville Jaguar. Okay, Taven Bryan is now officially a Cleveland Brown. They paid him $5 million on a 1-year prove-it deal. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Don't want to ever see you again on my football team. One person who I would have liked to see on my football team, especially after we cut Miles Jack, was Damien Wilson. Damien Wilson is now a Carolina Panther. So Panther fans, I think you'll probably enjoy him. He's not the best player in the world, but I thought Damien Wilson was a really solid player. I would have liked to see him come back, but unfortunately it was not to be. Andrew Norwell, we swapped an actual good guard for Andrew Norwell. We get Brandon Sheriff, and the Washington Commanders get Andrew Norwell. So good luck with that, Washington. A.J. Cann is now a Houston Texan. So, you know, I don't know how much Aiden Hutchinson is lined up kind of in the middle in college, but, you know, I'd kind of like to line him up, or, you know, Foley right over A.J. Cann and just kind of bulldoze right over him. That'd be fun. And then something I had alluded to earlier in this video that I kind of want to bring up again. Nothing is official, nothing's confirmed. But I've seen a lot of buzz on the internet, because the internet's so reliable, that Brandon Linder is contemplating retirement. And that's something we could possibly see this upcoming week. I wouldn't like to see that, because I wouldn't like that. I know Brandon Linder is almost kind of controversial with Jags fans because he's hurt a lot, but when he plays, he's really good. I love the guy. I'd hate to see him retire, but at the same time, we did re-sign Tyler Shadley, so that is the insurance policy, and he normally takes over for Brandon Linder throughout the season when he's hurt anyway. But man, I would hate for that to happen. So just keep an ear out for that in the event that does happen. And then a few more names that the Jaguars ended up bringing back officially. Like I mentioned before, was Bill Richardson, and they brought back cornerback Trey Herndon to kind of fill in a little bit of the depth there at the corner position. I kind of expect throughout the draft, I already told you, I almost guarantee you that the Jags are picking Aiden Hutchinson at 1. And then at 33, you know, best wide receiver available, Pickens. That's what I want. And then in the 3rd round, I would expect them to go offensive line, or even, pass rush is supposedly pretty deep in this class as well. If there's a solid pass rusher there in the 3rd, take him. You can never have enough, because honestly, look at the edge rushers on this team. Outside of this guy and Hutchinson, we don't have a lot. K'Lavon Chaisson is a bust with a capital B, and Dwan Smoot's a nice player, but Dwan Smoot is not a game wrecker. Like offensive coordinators are not game planning and moving tight ends to chip and everything for Dwan Smoot. It's not happening, and the Jaguars need that. You win in the NFL with 2 things: the quarterback, who we believe that we have, especially now with Doug Peterson running everything, and you need to affect the other team's quarterback. And right now, for sure, the Jaguars do not have one of those things, because all teams have to do is chip and double team Josh Allen, and there's nothing else. So hopefully with the addition of Foley, Fatukasi, adding that pressure up the middle, and with the Jags drafting Aiden Hutchinson, that'll fix that a little bit. But hey, we got 2 picks in like the first 5 picks of the 3rd round, 5-6 picks of the 3rd round. I would expect them, if a good edge rusher's there again, take another one. Why not? Do it. Just do it. Also, I would expect the Jaguars to add another corner. Just because I think it's safety. You got Rayshon Jenkins and Andre Sisco. And honestly, Daniel Thomas has shown a lot of potential, in my opinion. So I think safety, the Jaguars are okay. It's just really corner, I think we need a little bit more depth on. I think we have our 3 starters, but you can never have enough corner depth, because corners tend to get hurt a lot. So definitely need to shore up there. Need to shore up the interior of the offensive line. Unless your plan really is to move Walker Little on the inside. or you really trust Ben Barch enough to move him to one of the guard positions, or even put Tyler Shatley at a guard position while Brandon Linder's healthy. I'm okay with that. But I'm excited, you guys. That's kind of like my little breakdown. I wanted to break down free agency even more, kind of give you an update on Jags players who have left, kind of break down players that we brought in, their contracts a little bit more deeper. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've watched all of this so far, I really appreciate you. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you fit the criteria for the 3 things, to hit subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Go Jags. Have a great day.